Do you struggle with feeling like you're enough? Do you ever feel like you're not good enough, not skinny enough, not fat enough, not tall enough, not young enough, not rich enough, not fit enough, not accomplished enough, not educated enough? The list can go on forever and a day, and women are especially plagued by these questions. Today, I uttered the sentence, I am in an epic battle with enoughness. I was in a group where I felt very safe expressing myself, and I realized, and it sort of just crystallized at that moment, I am in an epic battle for enoughness. And I think I speak for many women, many people in general, but especially women, when I say there is an epidemic of feeling not enough. And so I've really been grappling with that all day. And so tonight on Boss Up Goddess, I, Elizabeth Ann Atkins, am going to talk with you about 4 ways to feel enough. It's really infuriating when I think about it, and I really want to find a solution and help you find a solution for it as well. So I listed a bunch of ways that we can feel not enough. Um, And we can also feel too much, and it's all messaging from others typically, that we don't feel good enough. The cosmetics industry, the media, the standards of beauty, people we might be dating, or people who we know, make comments about how a woman should be and how a woman should look and act. And it gets ingrained in us that we're supposed to look, talk, act, be a certain way. And if we're not good enough. But this can get deeply ingrained in us in different ways. And that's what I want to talk with you about tonight is that I feel so driven to accomplish and achieve and create and contribute that I push myself into overdrive, and it can be limitless and it's glorious. I love what I do and I love so many things that I do, but I have to set stricter boundaries because I'll literally work 12, 14, 16, 18-hour days. I recently pulled an all-nighter. That's not okay. It's okay, occasionally, but I have to say, this is enough. I want to achieve so much and do so many things. And there's this sort of hunger and, excitement about what I do, writing, publishing, doing my show, interviewing people. I do so many other things as well. And it's just this overwhelming surge of energy and desire to achieve and contribute. So, if you find yourself thinking this way as well, and also if you're troubled by those thoughts that, oh, I'm not thin enough, I'm not fit enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not glamorous enough, I'm not fun enough, I'm not this, that, or the other enough, I want to tell you 4 ways that I've figured out to say, yes, I am enough. Number 1 is to just say it. Say out loud, I am enough. I remember I watched this video on YouTube with Marissa Peer. She's a coach, and she talked about how she coached really famous people who were plagued by this same thought process I was sharing. And she said she had them write a note to themselves and post it like on the bathroom mirror, I am enough. And that was sufficient because just by being, we are enough. And we should be joyous in that fact. The other day I was taking a walk and this lady was walking her dog and the dog was walking toward me and the dog looked so happy. I mean, it was just wagging its tail and like walking, it looked up at me like with these happy eyes. And I'm like, Dogs don't question all this stuff. They just enjoy their lives. He wasn't like walking down the street contemplating the heavy questions of life like I was. He, the little dog, was just happy as could be. They feel entitled to happiness, and so should we. So we should know that just by being, we are enough. So say it out loud. I am enough. I did enough today. Because sometimes when I like it gets 10 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock at night and I look and I'm, oh my gosh, I didn't do enough. And then I look down at my calendar and see the 10,000 things I did that day. It's like, yeah, I did. I did a lot, but that's another point I'm going to share in a minute. So just know that you are enough. You are doing enough. And these days, women are doing so much working, taking care of kids, homeschooling kids, dealing with all the anxieties and extra activities required by the COVID pandemic, making sure we're all wearing our masks and, taking all the precautions, et cetera. And there's an extra layer of anxiety on top of everything. So just know that we are doing enough. Let me just share that as an entrepreneur. Um, the entrepreneur life is phenomenal. I work at home. I set my own hours. I'm my own boss. Awesome. With a 9 to 5, you work from 9 to 5 and you're done. Well, working at home has kind of blurred the lines, but in general, when you're working for someone else, you have your job, you finish your job, and then you're done. Well, an entrepreneur's work is kind of never done because there's always more things to do. And so, especially writing and publishing books, there's so many tasks, and many of them are quite time consuming. When you're editing a book, you have to focus and give it all your attention and really pay attention to the details. And so you literally can work 24 hours, but you have to set boundaries. But this feeds into my not enoughness in that I feel like I should have done more in that day. And so that's why these boundaries are so important. So I say, I am enough. I did enough today. And one way to keep track and reinforce that is number 2, write it. I am enough. And so write it on 3 different levels. First, write it about today. I am enough today. I did enough today. Write out, if you don't do it like throughout the day, at the end of the day, write out all the things you've accomplished. Instead of a to-do list, it's a I accomplished list. This is what I accomplished today. And it can include all kinds of things like major meetings or making that phone call you've been meaning to make for 3 weeks or finally straightening up the office, to your desktop. It can be anything, but whatever you did, include your exercise, any shopping you did, cleaning up, anything that you accomplished today, write it out. Sometimes I even write things like I washed my hair because that's extra time to account for my whole day. And so write it out. And when you see that visual list of all that you did, it will make you feel like you accomplished something good today. So, so write it out what you did today, okay? But then also write out what you did in a situation. So when I say that, like, I am enough in this situation. So for example, if for me, if I just wrapped up a book, which may have taken a few months or a few years, I am enough. I did enough. I did all the tasks required to write and publish the book, promote it now. And so write it out, all the things I did, then I can see. Now you can apply that to applying for a job. For example, if you had to submit your resume and do all the extra steps, you did it all. So write it out. This gives you a visual affirmation of the action that you took so you can remind yourself that I am enough and I am doing enough. So, writing is number 2. Number 3 is whatever stimulation in your life tells you or reinforces that you're not enough, don't look at it, don't listen to it, don't engage with it. Now, this isn't the easiest thing to do because so much messaging in our world, including other people that we may live with, can make us feel or say things that trigger the not enoughness. And Th so, let's talk about the external world first. There are certain commercials that I do not watch because they reinforce the fact that if you're over a certain age, you're totally unacceptable, and you should be totally trying to do everything possible to look as young as possible. Otherwise, you're complete loser, and I just refuse to watch those commercials because it's wrong. It's messaging that in unless you are still 25, which many of us are not, and you don't look a certain way, then you need to take massive action to change how you look, which is your natural look, and that is enough. And so that's a messaging example that I don't listen to or look at. Social media can trigger this a lot. If you see pictures of people on social media apps that look just so beautiful and they might be photoshopped and they look perfect and they don't have any wrinkles or their hair is perfect or their body's perfect. No, those can trigger feelings in us that make us feel like we're not enough. So if you have a tendency to compare and despair, don't look at that. Just don't look. Look at something else. Takes some discipline, but when you think about how those images make you feel worse, even though you were seeking the dopamine hit from watching, which is the pleasure hormone, um, just don't do it. Just detox from that for a minute and see how you feel. Songs, magazines, websites, um, even movies, whatever it is that might trigger that for you, don't look. If there's an app with certain fashions on it that you you compare what the models look like and you don't look like that and it makes you feel bad, just don't look at that. At the same time, you should be taking action to feel your best. But if you see imagery that's unrealistic and just makes you feel bad or not enough, don't look at it. Create your own images that make you feel affirmed and celebrated. And if you don't see any, then make your own. Make your own imagery that reinforces who you are and what you love. That's how you boss up to yourself in your life is you create your own matrix. The imagery, the sights, the sounds, the feelings, the vibe, you have the power to create that. That's bossing up as a goddess, creating your own empire that you rule your way. So, in order to do that, we have to release all these things and win the epic battle with not enoughness. So, number one is to say, I am enough. Number two is to write it. Okay. And writing it, um, and then number three is silencing the noise by not looking at, listening to, engaging in activities, visuals, audio, people, situations that make you feel not enough. If you are in those situations and you have to go to that event or you have to be around certain people, find a way to block it out and just if there's a situation that's happening, just keep saying in your mind, I am enough. I am enough. I am enough. And that's all. That really works. Affirmations, mantras are so powerful to distract us away from the toxic thoughts and bring us back to center where we need to be. So say it out loud. I am enough. Write it and write all the reasons. And then number three is silence the noise, all the triggers that might make you feel not enough. And then number four is to take stock of your abundance. Take stock of where you do feel that you are enough, above and beyond in overflow. What areas of your life do you feel that way? Dwell on that. Like, I know that I am enough in terms of my nutritional commitment on a daily basis. I know that I'm fueling my body with the highest quality, healthy foods with my regimen. So that's like a non-negotiable, and I know that I'm enough in that area. I know that I'm exceeding probably my vitamins, minerals, fiber requirements for the day because of how I eat. So I know I'm rocking that area of my life. So, what areas of your life do you know you are absolutely enough? It might be your self care. It might be the way you take care of your skin with lotion and exfoliation and treatments and, special creams that you get or perfumed or essential oils, whatever. You might have a self care regimen that just makes you feel really, really wonderful. So dwell on that. Say, I am enough in this area for sure, and celebrate that and just think about, like, feel grateful that yes, I am rocking that part of my life. So whatever it is, dwell on those areas of abundance and don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have and what you are really emphasizing and focusing on in terms of productivity, creativity, prosperity, contribution, engagement with others. Another way is think about your friendships. And if you have certain friendships where you know you're being the best possible friend, uplifting, inspiring, engaging, laughing, comforting, all those good things in the friendship, then just dwell on that for a while and feel how good it feels to say, I am enough in this. I am more than enough in this. And then when you take stock of the areas where you absolutely know that you are enough, it has a ripple effect. Like, if I know I'm enough in this really tough area, then I certainly can feel enough in all these other areas. So, those are my four ways that I am conquering the battle against not enoughness. So I have learned to say, I have done enough work today. And I look back at what I did. I am enough in all the different areas of my life. And another very important thing is if I truly don't feel enough, what can I do to fix it? First of all, is my concern valid? Or is it a message that I'm getting from an external source that is bogus? Because a lot of these messages come from sources that want us to buy something to feel enough, even though that is not the solution. So it's really about self awareness and drawing boundaries and knowing that, yes, we are enough. Say it out loud. I am enough. Write it and write out why and how you are enough in your day, in a situation, in your life. Write out the major accomplishments in your life. If you made it through a really difficult situation, then you are enough. You had the tenacity, the power, the perseverance, the strength, the courage to make it through. And look at you, you're a survivor. You are enough. And then also silence the noise, the visuals of any imagery, people, songs, situations, multimedia that make you feel not enough. And then take stock of your abundance and really, really focus on and celebrate the areas where you absolutely know that you are enough. If you're an awesome mom who makes the best meals and has so much fun with your kids and really engages them in educational entertainment and gets them on a schedule, and you just know you are rocking being a mom and you're watching your kids grow and thrive, celebrate that for yourself. Say, I am enough in this area of my life. And just love that about. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or if they recognize it or not. Who cares? You know, that's what matters. That's what all of this is about. Us individually to ourselves knowing I I am enough. I do enough. I do enough. And I'm glad about it. So that's my message for today, helping you win the battle against not enoughness. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I go live every night on my show, Boss Up Goddess. I usually interview trailblazing women who share their wisdom to help us all live bigger, better, and bolder. But tonight I'm solo, and that's my message, straight from the heart and soul. I hope you'll follow me on Twitter. I'm really having fun on Twitter. And also, like, share, subscribe, and comment. That would be really awesome. If you have any questions, like, how are you feeling about enoughness? Do you feel that it's a challenge to feel not enough? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right. So remember, boss up, goddess. You have the power. I'll see you next time.